like she said, let's everybody come off mute for a moment. We're gonna have a little bit of a conversation here. We'll do a little bit of presenting maybe later. Let's all come off mute. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. Let's share, give and take, give and take. All right. So first of all, how many people on this call were in, we'll say any of the bold pivots or bold digitals? All right, cool. Who was on the most recent one? All right, great. All right, so let's do this. Let's have a couple of ahas from that. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a discussion, a little mastermind on that for everybody. And then, like I said, we'll do some things. I'm gonna talk about customer experience, talk a little about listings, and some things that probably people are having some challenges with. We're gonna talk about kind of the mindset of that. So first, let's hear some great ahas. What have you gotten from this bold that just ended today, or we'll say any of the other ones too? Everybody got all shy on me. What happened?
I know. I told you. Hey, I'll go first. My name's William. First of all, so glad you could be here to help us out today. I think it's awesome. But what I got out of bold, especially this last time, I think it started with week 1 when Emily Peckham kind of came out of nowhere and said, hey, as a second-year agent, this is what I do with her FSBO calls, and this is how I got there by how much I practice. It just, I don't know, just kind of flipped the switch in me that really just spend the time. It's easy to spend the time and get down in those scripts and get to work at it. And it's not hard at all.
William, I mean, you and I are speaking the same language here, because her story was so amazing, because not only did she do that in a short period of time, and everybody, if you didn't hear this, who here has no idea what we're talking about? Show of hands. One, and everybody else's face is black, so we can't see. Okay, so Jamie, cool. We're talking to you right now, and everybody else who's shy, we're talking to you too. That didn't raise your hand. We're talking to you. All right. Emily Peckham is an agent that William said she's been in business for 2 years, and this is her second year coming up, and she's going to close over 100 transactions in her second year. She closed 36 her first year. She's going to close 100 by the end of this year. Now, what William didn't tell you, and this is the part that, I mean, mind blown part, this your mind should get ready to get blown, all right? What he didn't tell you, what he didn't mention, is that she moved to a brand new area 2 years ago. So she is starting from scratch. She didn't know anybody. She has no history there. I mean, she is brand spanking new. I think it's Nashville 2 years ago. Oh, excuse me. Let me be honest. She knew 4 people. All right. She knew 4 people. First year did 36. Now this year on to do 100. Now, if that doesn't make you, like he said, make you kind of go, well, wait a minute, I have no excuse now. Whatever your goal is, unless it's like, if it's 200, then you can't use her as an example. If it's anything less than that, did your excuse just kind of go out the window? Come on. It did, didn't it? You went, ooh. And it was like a gut punch where it was like, oof, ooh. Yeah, we don't want him anymore. Get him out of here. We don't want to hear that anymore. So yeah, bring that conversation up, bring that mentality, because that's what's possible in this business. Your income, your business is completely unlimited. So those limiting beliefs that you have, you can throw them out the window. You can, say, hey, just go sit down over there. Go sit down somewhere, because they do not apply here. All right, William, that was a great aha. What else do we got? Come on. Give me a couple more. What you got?
The script off on Wednesday was awesome. That inspired me. Kudos to William, because, he like was so confident when I was watching him. And then at our team meeting the other day, he was talking about how nervous and scared he was. And I'm like, he was? Didn't show. And I just thought, you know what? He did that nationally, and I'm only doing it one-on-one. After I heard that, I'm like, what the heck do I have to lose? Like, I didn't have to be in front of everyone like those people did. And it was very inspiring to me. Absolutely.
Well, good job. Well, William, thank you for that very much. So Lynette, is it?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So what script that you heard that really kind of spoke to you, the one that you kind of went, ooh, that was good. That was good.
Well, I've been really looking at the expireds and the for sale by owners, and those were very intimidating to me. And I just went for it. The last couple of days, I've just been going through those, working. I've driven around and taken some phone numbers down, and because I'm just like, that's what I'll focus on a bit, and like that'll change it up for me. Instead of calling other people that I know and doing care calls and things, I'm like, maybe I can get some action going this way.
All right, good job. I love that. That's right. Get some action going that way. Good job. Good job. The thing that I heard that I had never really heard it this way before, and I was like, wow, that was good stuff. They were talking about the one where you had a relative that was in the business, and she said she actually then attempted to recruit the woman. Do you remember that? She said, I have a friend in the business, and the friend was new, and she said, well, she can come to Keller Williams and we can train her, and we can help her out. And I was like, wow, I never heard it done like that before. So not only did she handle the objection, she also possibly helped build a profit share tree. So something else you could think about it. If you're talking to somebody and they say they have a friend in the business and they're interested in possibly working with their friend after you handled the objection, and the way she handled it was she kind of went to the relationship part. And that is, if your friend is new and you have a relationship with her, since this is the largest financial transaction of your life, if she jacks it all up, are you going to still be able to have a relationship with her? And she kind of had, well, I don't know. I don't think so. She said, well, that's why you need to work with me, because you don't have to worry about that. So you keep your relationship intact and I can help you sell your house. And then at the same time, she flipped it and said, by the way, we can bring over here and train her so she can be really good, so she can help you later, la, la, la. So that was the one that I was like, wow, I'd never heard that before. So another thing to think about. All right, one more. Who's got one more for us? Unless you guys just want to go hog wild crazy. One more, anybody? We got shy again. It's okay, we can unmute. You can take it off mute, it's okay.
Guys, he's really nice, I promise. It's okay.
Okay, how about this? Anything that maybe popped in your brain that you'd like to have a question at. I'd love to see if it's something cool we can talk about before I talk about what I want to talk about. Is there anything out there?
I'll go. Well, I think it was in the first week. David Heffaker, is that how you say his last name? Was in, and he was talking about his plan of chunking down his database. And I really like that. And it was something that he was going to get us in the Bold community, and we haven't seen it yet. So maybe you can add a little pressure. Where like I've been called, I called his market center. I mean, like, don't mess around. I got to have this info. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about that. And so now I'm obsessing about it. Because my database is too big for me to handle even a DTD2 way. So I have to do this or start. I don't want to delete, and it's bothering me to delete, but it's too large to just handle through the DTD2.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. So Gwen, how big is your database? How long you been in business? Now I got to ask some great questions.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to talk. No, okay. Let's see, January starts my 4th year, so I'm finishing up my 3rd. I've only been with Keller 2 years. So my database, when Command started, I was maybe 2 months old in Keller and knew it was coming, couldn't wait. And they said, hit the button. And I did. And it went whoof. And I shouldn't have done it that way. So it was 2,500 people. Now it's around 1,800 people. And I got a Bold 100, my very first Bold. And a lot of it was, I don't know who you are. You may not know me, but you're in my system. How can I help you with real estate? And people laughed. And I found that I didn't know people, or they knew my husband or something like that, but it was just like this big. And so I've still just been sifting and tossing. And now I feel like, okay, some of this, even what I have left, isn't manageable enough through that. So that's why I want to really get a better handle. on things, because I think that there definitely are transactions in my database with it being that large,
Yep.
even with not knowing who they are.
Yeah, yeah. Can you say that script again for anybody who maybe didn't get it? Because that script is great. So if you could do that script one more time about when you don't know people in your database, what do you say to them? Because I love that one. Gwen, let's hear that again. That was perfect.
I seriously don't know if it was exactly like this,
No, it's good.
but
It's perfect.
I don't know if I know you, and I don't know if you know me, but you're in my system. So how can I help you with real estate, or can I help you with real estate?
Yeah, look at that. Simple. And you're being perfectly honest. If you don't know who they are, you get people like, oh, I don't know who this person. I don't want to call them. Call them. Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that.
Yep.
Because sometimes the people will then know you. They'll say, oh yeah, remember we met some. Okay, great. Sometimes they'll have no idea who you are. And sometimes just because you ask, guess what happens? When you ask, you what? Starts with a R, ends in sieve.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too, Dennis. My husband's a contractor,
Mhm.
and some of these people were painters
Mhm.
or drywallers or flat work people, and they're in my database, and then I could tag them. And then I did have a painter who's like, you know what? I think I might be looking for another investment property. So yeah. So you never know, even if you don't know them, it doesn't mean that they're not, that they don't have real estate needs that you can help them with.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm going to tell you an agent that took Bold. This was back in the day in Classic, before we did 2.0, before digital. And we used to have this exercise with the phone book. Does everybody know what a phone book is? Just checking. Okay. I know you've probably seen it on a rerun of Friends or something. However, the phone book, it's a book and has everybody's name in it. It's like this, except it's bigger and it's big. All right. So, and what we used to do is if you didn't have anybody to call, you could literally call people in the phone book and almost say that exact script. You just call people in the phone book. And one time, this lady had decided to do a Bold 100, and she lived in Michigan. And people in Bold always attempt to figure out cool ways to do Bold 100s. You know, like they'll find an event they're going to go to. So they'll go to this event and they'll talk to all the people so they know they get the 100 people. So this woman, she was clever. She was clever. She was like, she had this event she was going to go to. She would do this Bold 100 to remove a foul. Well, in Michigan in January, it snows a lot, probably like there, except they don't have the 75-degree days. It just snows all the time. So the day she was supposed to go do this thing, it snowed. And the thing had like, now also because Michigan, even if it snows, they still do the things, just nobody shows up. So there was like 10 people there. So she wasn't able to do her Bold 100. So she went home and she just started calling people out of the phone book. I mean, this is flat out strangers, just calling people out of the phone book. And she ended up with 3 appointments. So if you ask people, if you ask enough people, you'll get business. And if you're saying, well, I'm shy, I'm afraid they don't know me. Great, that's exactly why you can call them, because they don't know you. They'll never remember you. You know, you could probably call them next week, and you know what they say? They'd say, you know, someone else called me last week, and it's you, and you can laugh about it. That was me. You know, they won't even know most of the time. All right. So whatever you do, just realize if you contact enough people, you will get business. So Gwen, love that. Love that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the customer experience. Before I do, though, I know that some people have some issues or some questions about getting listings, because listings are kind of hard to get now. Let's talk about a couple of things, and I might say a little bit of this in the customer experience thing. Just like we just talked about, it's really all a numbers game. And the most important thing you have to realize is you're looking for people. Actually, let me ask you, what kind of people are you looking for? And that's a broad question, so I might not have asked a great enough question. So let's see what the answers are we get. And then if I have to fix it, I'll narrow it down. So what kind of people are you looking for?
Someone who's motivated to sell soon.
Exactly. That's it. Someone who is motivated. Now, that's a big word, and it's a very important word. And if you take that word to heart, your business will be a lot smoother in real estate. Why do I say that? Anybody? Come on, Lynette. It's all you. I know you got it, Lynette. You're feeling it.
Well, it's an obvious key. They've got to be motivated to sell, so that's the impetus, and they're going to follow through.
Exactly. So you might know somebody who you think should sell. However, if they're not motivated to sell, it doesn't matter how much you think they should sell. That's going to be a frustrating conversation. Okay. You might know somebody that should sell. Same, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you think. If they don't want to sell, there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't matter what objection you have. Doesn't matter how glib you are. It doesn't matter the golden words that flow off your tongue. If they don't want to sell, they're not selling. So, in everything that you do, you need to ask more questions to find out that motivation. Are they an energized, motivated seller or buyer, whoever it is? They gotta be if they're not, then you can put them in and wait later. All right. So always remember that. And I know you all say you do, and everybody does. However, you always have to remember, because when you start asking people and you start going on appointments, you'll hear either excuses or reasons. If it's an excuse, that's just the reason they're not doing it. If it's a reason, it can be handled and you can now move them forward. So always look for the difference. All right, let's talk about this customer experience. Now, this class normally is a whole day's worth of material, and I've chunked it down to about 30 minutes. So you're only going to get some highlights of some things, except what we're going to talk about is some ways that when you're now dealing with your database and you're dealing with your clients and customers, you can make sure that you're putting yourself in a position so that they want to use you. We talked about a lot in Bold. We talked about everything. You want to be top of mind. So what can you do to make sure you're top of mind? So, all right, since you said you shared your screen with me, I am going to use it. Oh, well, okay, let me ask that question. How can you differentiate between excuses and reasons? Very good question. All right. Well, it has to do a lot with motivation. So when you're talking to somebody, if you're asking them, well, why do they want to move? And they say, well, we just feel like it'd be a good time. And then you start asking a bunch of questions. They say stuff like, well, we just didn't think, we don't really know if we want to move right now, because, we'd have to move. Let me think of something that's, actually, you know what? Tell me some objections you've heard, and we can decipher which ones are excuses, which ones are reasons. Give me a couple real quick, and then we'll go back to this.
What about the election?
Great one. What is that, an excuse or a reason?
Excuse.
That's an excuse. Because I think if you're on the Bold page there or whenever, you might have even heard it before. If Trump wins, what changes whether or not they move? If Biden wins, what changes not they move? Nothing. So, it's okay. So you handle it. And if they keep saying the same thing after a while, like, okay, they're not really serious. They're just talking. Okay. And anything else that you're questioning, what would be an excuse and what would be a reason?
A new baby is due in 4 weeks.
Okay. A new baby is due in 4 weeks. So let me ask you this, Gwen. Why were you interested in moving?
We need a bigger house.
Okay. So when the baby comes in 4 weeks, how much time are you going to want before you have this bigger house?
I would want it immediately, but I'm afraid that now we can't. It's too close to the baby. So now we've missed our window.
Okay. So how soon after that do you want to move? Because you can move anytime. If you say right now it's too soon, how soon after you have the baby would you feel comfortable moving?
Probably 4 weeks.
4 weeks? Okay,
that
cool.
way I still don't have to lift anything. Haha.
Okay, perfect. Well, here's the thing, Gwen. Okay, so if it takes about 45 days, between 30 and 45 days to sell something, it's going to take a couple weeks maybe get your house ready. Well, that means you probably need to put your house on the market probably in about a week to make sure you're there in 4 weeks. So why don't we just do it now, and then we can just put it so they can't move in till that date. How would that work for you?
Yep, that works.
Okay, so that's a good reason. Okay, if you get ready to move, okay. Still want to move? Okay, good, love it. All right, anything else? Cool, all right, let's go. That was a great question, by the way. Great question. All right, so let's share the screen here. All right, you guys got my screen? Perfect. Hold on, I'm seeing some things in the chat box here. Let me see if I can address these real quick. See if there's any cool questions. Don't know the story. Ah, Lynette for the win. Very good. Okay, cool. We took care of all that stuff. Good job. All right. So here we go. Customer experience. Now, what we're talking about the customer experience is, once again, you see right here, it's about building relationships. All right. And when we talk about that, we're going to talk about in terms of the 5S model. You saw this in bold. All right. What are we doing? We're setting and exceeding expectations. The first thing we want to do is make sure we set expectations, because if we set the expectations up front, now we have something to shoot for that we're actually going to exceed, except now we're all on the same page. All right, there's no guessing. We're on the same page to what's going to happen. Then we talk about serving the client, the customer. This is about making sure that we do what we say we are going to do. Then we're going to survey. We want to find out how they're feeling in terms of what's going on with the transaction. So we need to constantly check in and do it either verbally or, like on paper. Now, the next thing is we're going to surpass the expectations that we set for them. We set expectations, and the goal is not to just leave it there. The goal is to make sure you surpass them. Okay, that can be by doing something a little bit unexpected, or it can be doing something a little bit more. And then last, we're going to want to sustain the relationship, because as we sustain the relationship, that's where we build our database and we build our data bank so that we can get repeat business and referral business. All right. Now, when you think about the 5S model, this right here, these are the 10 things, according to the MREA book, the 10 service areas, according to buyers and sellers. And when you're looking at these, you can apply those 5 steps we just talked about, that 5S model, to generally each one of these categories. So when you're dealing with your clients and your customers, in each of these steps, you want to be handling those 5 things. You want to set expectations. You want to be able to service what you say you're going to do. You want to survey to find out how it's going, what else is going on, and then you want to surpass those expectations. Okay? And I love this slide, because if you want extraordinary results, you cannot be average. So let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to stop sharing just for a second here. All right. Let's talk about that for a minute. There's some things that you'll be able to get from using this customer experience, this 5S service. The first thing you're going to get is it's going to bring value to you, your business, and your clients and customers. All right. It brings value because everybody's on the same page. And then it allows you to, once again, set expectations and exceed those expectations. It also makes sure that things don't fall through the cracks, because you're going to have an actual system as to how you're going to deal with everybody. Once again, we're talking about surpassing expectations because we want to make sure we do that. Now, here's the key thing about surpassing expectations. I want everybody to write this down. This is why I took it off the thing so you could see me. You have to tell your clients when you surpass expectations. Did you hear that? You have to tell them when you do it, because you want to make sure they remember that you do it, so that they can tell their friends and family that you exceeded expectations. It can be something as simple as, if you say you're going to get them something on Monday and you get it to them on Saturday, remind them that, oh, hey, I know I told you I was going to get you this on Monday. However, I really felt I could get it to you on Saturday. I really knew something was really important to you, so I got it to you today. You say, well, why didn't you tell them that? They'd already know. I get it. They should know, except we want to make sure they know. So every time you exceed an expectation, you want to make sure you remind your clients that you exceeded the expectation. All right. You're going to also be able to provide a roadmap. And that roadmap is going to make sure that you, the vendors, everybody is all on the same page. And throughout this process, when you're doing the surveys, that's also going to allow you to make improvements. So you're constantly getting better, because you can never stand pat for very long, because as soon as you stand pat, something new has come up, something has changed, and you're now obsolete. All right. So the most important thing Whenever you exceed expectations, make sure you tell them you've exceeded expectations. Who here took Classic Bold? Anyone took Classic Bold? Okay, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to clear it up for you right now. All right. In Classic Bold, there was a script. And when you went to an appointment with somebody, you knocked on their door, and when they answered, you would say something like this. My name is Dennis Russell with Keller Williams. We had an appointment at 3 o'clock, and it's 3 o'clock. So, well, why would you do that? Because I'm telling them that I'm on time, and I'm going to be on time, and I'm showing them I'm on time. Okay, so once again, you're just making sure that we're all on the same page, and you're being very clear about what you're doing to exceed and hit expectations, and making sure they know about it. All right. Okay, let's go back to sharing the screen. So next, remember this: you have no business without customers. If you don't have customers, it's a hobby. If you say, well, I'm in real estate and I'm looking at all this stuff, you can watch HGTV, you can look at properties on, you can do all that stuff. It's a hobby. So we don't want it to be a hobby. We want it to be a business. So you've got to get some clients. You've got to get some customers. All right. So that's why we talked about. So I loved what Gwen said when she did her script, and I asked her to do it again because it was like, oh, that's something that people sometimes don't know what to do. If they see people's names, they don't know what to say to them. That was perfect. Okay. And also to remember, it's all about motivation. So while you're talking to these people and you're building these relationships, continue to drive for motivation. Now, let me ask you guys this. What is the difference between a customer service and a customer experience? I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Let's have some good talking here. Let's have some good communication. Okay, let's do this. How about somebody who hasn't talked before? Ooh, the challenge has been thrown down. The gauntlet has been dropped. Difference between service and experience.
I'll go ahead and take that one.
All right.
I mean, customer service is, I'm going to sell the house and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on the appointment and that's just it. At the end of the day, there's no wow factor. Experience, I got the opportunity to meet with Brady Sandoval, talking about the customer experience and like the Ritz-Carlton, that experience of wowing, exciting and delighting a customer. That way they're raving fans. They're going to refer business to you. I think that's the big thing, is the experience will get you referrals, where customer service is just going to get you a transaction.
Seamus, is it?
Yes.
Seamus, I love that. Say that last line again. We should all write that down. Say that last line again. That was some power. Look, I'm writing it down too. I'm gonna use that. Now I'm gonna give you credit the first time I use it. After that, it's mine. I'm just letting you know. All right. So say that last thing again.
Customer experience is going to give you referrals, where customer service is just going to give you a transaction.
Man, that's some good stuff. Experience gives you referrals. Man, you guys should all write that down. Service gives you a transaction. Did anyone tell you that, or it just came to you right then?
A little bit of both. Brady talked a lot about that piece and going into that referral sense of it. And that's just that was one of the big things that stuck out with me, on top of his surprise and delight through those 10 steps of the transaction.
Yep. That was some good stuff. That's exactly right. I mean, think about, there'll be people who will save up, their money for a year, 2 years to go to Disney, right? Has everyone here been to Disney? One of the Disney somewhere? All right. Now, who here has been to one of like those little fairs that comes around from time to time? It has a little spinny thing everybody gets off and throws up, the thing that everybody's been there? Okay. Now, that thing has rides. Disney has rides, except people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars to go to Disney when they could just go to the rides on the thing that comes, every year, little fair thing. The difference, like Seamus said, is the experience. The fair, you go hang out, you go on some rides. In Disney, whoo, you walk in and the people are nice and they're all, oh, what can I do for you? And they got the little hats on and they're all happy and they're running around and they play with your kids and your kids are happy. And the kids see Mickey and Minnie and, all their favorite princesses. Man, that's an experience. and people will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it. They will save up for years. So like Seamus said, if you want to have repeat and referral business, if you give them an experience, your business will blossom through your database. Love that. All right, good job. Let's go back to sharing the screen. Anybody want to say anything so far that we've learned and talked about? All right, let's move on. Back to sharing the screen. I got to take a drink. So let's look at this slide real quick. There are things that are myths and there are things that are truths. All right, for customer experience, the myth is that you define it. What do you think the truth is? We can all come off mute again. You can just shout out the answer. We're not just going to scream out the answers. What do you think the truth is? Who is it defined by, you or your
Customers.
customers? Exactly. All right, my man Seamus here. We're talking the same language here. Does it start and end at the transaction, or does an experience do what?
Keeps going.
It
Keeps going for a lifetime. There you go. Love it, love it, love it. All right, here's a good one. Ready? Does a customer experience just meet the customer's needs, or does it what?
Exceed.
Exceeds. Yes, exceeds. It connect. Look, you connect on an emotional level too. Connect emotionally, and then exceed. All right, all right. Okay. I'm looking to see. Okay. All right. I'm gonna call. Okay, I'm gonna call some people out. All right, I'm calling some people out. All right, this is a simple one. All right, ready? And you can shout at people like, "Oh no, we're getting off. We're hanging up." Don't hang up. Don't hang up. It's okay. All right. Next one. Does one size fit all? Is that the myth? Any of the Joshes? What do you say?
No.
No, exactly, exactly.
No.
Woo-hoo! Right. It doesn't. It's personalized and it touches emotions. Now, let's break this down for a minute, because this is one of the great things about Command. Command will allow you to personalize things that personally go out to people. Some of the little things you can do that make it a little more personal, you're going to have a system say,
actually.
you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So good, good. All right, perfect. All right. So some of the things you can do to make it a little more personal.
Never mind.
You're going to have a system where they're going to get, emails, text messages. They're going to get touches certain times a year, certain times a month. They're going to have a system that works automatically. Some of the things you can do to kind of adjust that a little bit is, say you have somebody who is a dog lover in your database. You can separate the people out in different categories so that on certain weeks, maybe the people who are dog lovers, they would get maybe information about the newest doggy parks or the newest doggy daycares, or some great new vets in the area, something like that. Where somebody else who likes hiking, maybe during that week you would give them new great trails to hike or something. So most of it could still be the same. There would just be some little differences that would make it a little more personal in, like, the touch campaign. Okay. All right, let's continue on. All right, let's see. Who is ready? Who is ready to answer the next question? All right. Jamie, you ready to answer this next question? Yes, she's ready. All right, Jamie is ready. The right is ready. All right. Do you think, if the myth is it addresses customer specific issues as they arise, what do you think the truth is?
You've already set expectations ahead of time, so you're kind of ahead of the game.
Exactly, you're ahead of the game. Give Jamie 2 thumbs up. All right, you are ahead of the game. Look, you address issues before they even know they had them. You set up ahead of the game. Perfect, great answer, great answer. All right, here we go, here we go. Next, does a great customer experience happen organically? Let's see, who do we got? Who do we got? Somebody has a blank screen. They just have a curtain there.
I can do this.
All right, you can do it. All right,
Sure.
Who
I
said
don't.
this?
It's Tammy.
All right, Tammy. Oh. So
Yeah.
does it happen organically?
No, I think you have to be intentional.
Oh, look at that. She got the exact word, intentional. Woohoo, Tammy. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, you have to be intentional. You set standards. You set the expectations. All of that happens not by chance, by a system. All right, now here's the last one. Okay, everybody take yourself. Everybody's going to shout this out together. Is a great customer experience, is success based on feelings alone? And the answer is
No.
No.
no. Exactly, no. You measure success by, like Seamus said, repeat and referral business and surveys. So that's how you're able to tell if you've actually been successful. All right. If they give you repeat and referral business, you're successful. If they don't, then you need to do a little bit of work there, a little bit of work. All right. So we want to make sure we take care of the people that are taking care of us. And that's by spending time. That's building those relationships. Okay. Making sure we're spending that time to show them that they mean something to us. All right. Now, this is a great point here. It's easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new one. All right, we're gonna stop the share. Who would like to talk about that? Who would like to add to that? Do you agree with that? Disagree with that? Why would you agree? Why don't you agree? Who would you like to say about it's easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new one?
I think that's true.
All right, love it. Exactly. It's exactly true. Love that. Love that. Okay, why do you think it's true? Anybody? Go ahead, or you, Josh.
Yeah, I can go. So when you're getting repeat business from someone, they have a sense of who you are as a person. If you're continuously giving them that experience, then they're going to feel more obligated to refer you, as opposed to a new person where you have to break the ice and get to know them. They don't really know you. I'm sure that their guards are going to be up in some regards. So you're going to have to do a little more work for that.
Boom, exactly. You're going to do a whole lot more work to have somebody start to trust you. Like you said, I mean, you hit it right on the head. To have them start to trust you. Once you've already got them, they've already got the trust part. It's about maintaining. So it's now, once they're up here, you're keeping them up here. It's not like you have to bring them all the way up and drag them up to the top. So love that. Perfect. Exactly. All right, let's go back to sharing the screen. That was a great answer. Everybody, that was a great answer, wasn't it? All right, now we're gonna
Josh, how long have you had your license?
Like no time at all.
See, look at that, a superstar. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Already there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, we're gonna spend a little bit of time on this one. All right. Since we just kind of talked about the importance of that relationship and that it's easier to keep the client and customer versus get a new one. So staying in a relationship with your database is the #1 way to get more business. All right, so we were talking about the whole thing about getting more listings. If you're talking to people and they trust you and know you, like Josh just said, when you have those conversations that we just talked about, where somebody is a little bit unsure because they want to move, except they're not exactly sure how it's all going to work out. If you've built up that trust, they're more inclined to let you help them through the process. If you have not built up that trust, they're more inclined to say, well, no, this is too scary. I'm not going down that path with you. All right. And think about this. The difference between a contact and a contract is one letter, and that letter is what? Contact, contract. What's the one letter difference? Only one letter's difference.
R.
The R, exactly. And the R stands for?
Relationship.
Relationship, exactly. And it stands for repeat and referral business. So this is why not only do we make the contacts, we have to build that relationship. And as we build that relationship, it allows us to get more business. Okay, it allows us to ask better questions because since they know us and they trust us, they also give us much better answers. Now, Josh, may I use you for a moment?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna use you as an example. As someone who just got your real estate license, there's lots of people that you know, and I want you to know that because they know you, like you, and trust you already as Josh, you're going to be able to use some of that as borrowed validity for whatever else you talk to them about. All right. So if you're saying, well, I'm new, I'm this, I'm that, that's all true, except because they know, like you, and trust you, you're going to be able to get in the door. You're going to be able to have those conversations with them because you already have that relationship. They love, like you based on this. Now you just have to show them why they need to trust you based on this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, here's a quick way to do it, because since they're going, well, you don't, I know you as, the kid we hung out with, in third grade, and, you hit that home run and won the game. They know you as that, you hit the winning basket through the touchdown. They know it was all that stuff. All right. You now have to have them see you now in a real estate professional light. Now, I'm talking to Josh, except this works for everybody. All right. Now, if you've been in real estate a longer time, you would have more people who already know that, except even them, you need to remind them what you do, and that what you do is not a hobby, and what you do is what you do, and you're professional and you're really good at it. One of the quickest ways to do that is to go evaluate their real estate portfolio. What does that mean in normal language?
The listing appointment.
Or
an evaluation of their current property that they live in.
Exactly. So if some people already have properties and you're like, well, I need to show them that I'm a real estate professional, you say, hey, I'd like to come over and evaluate your real estate portfolio. And they're gonna say, what in the world is that? And you say, well, I'd like to come and look at your house and tell you what it's worth. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And by doing this, what are you showing them? You're showing them now that you're a real estate professional. You're a real estate expert. This is your craft. So the fact they know, love, and like you over here is very easy now to transfer it over to the real estate side and say, oh, okay, they know that too. All right. So if you're saying, well, how do I get people to look at me differently? That's how you do it.
Can I ask you a question, Dennis?
Yes.
So I am new to real estate. I'm actually new to Colorado as well. I moved here about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know anyone besides my brother and his girlfriend and their dog.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that I've been learning and creating my database, it's been a challenge finding the rock stars in my database, just because one, they are in New Jersey, is from where I'm from, and the people that would be a little more inclined or might be a little bit older, but that's beside the point. So I've been focusing more on marketing. I'm a marketer at heart. So doing that. And so the example of creating a value report, I would do that over Facebook ads. And I wanted to get your opinion on that, or if you had any other advice for me.
Well, I think that's great. Here's the great thing about real estate. There's so many different ways to do it. You just have to find the one or two that fit with what you like to do. So if you would rather do, marketing analysis type stuff like we just talked about, go do that. Because you can go into a neighborhood. Well, I don't know if you can go to a neighborhood now. Normally, you could go into a neighborhood, or you could call people and say, hey, look, I'd like to show you the value of your house. And you could go knock on people's doors. And like I said, maybe not now. I'm just telling you, you can take this same concept and you can do it through Facebook, or you can do it through, your database. You can actually do it for your people in, you should be able to do it through your people in New Jersey, as long as you can have access to comparable properties in their area. Okay. So yeah, you can do that. And you can do this. You can Zoom or, FaceTime or whatever you do. So you can actually show them and send them the stuff. And you can start to show them that, they loved and liked you for this. Now they can love and like you and respect you for that too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. Oh, look at look at that Josh with the little baby on there. Yay. Yay. Okay.
I actually have two babies. I have
Hey,
twins.
Dennis,
Okay. Yep.
could I jump in with a couple of other ideas?
Yeah,
This
come
is
on.
Amy.
Hey, come on. Let's bring it. Come on. Let's go, Amy.
Awesome. So the other ideas that come to mind are you can use our Facebook campaigns through Command to do Facebook ads. I don't know how much you've heard about it, but you're going to get great leads. Second, you can also build a referral business. So you have contacts in another part of the country. Take time to learn how to do the referral map, understand the referral map and the patterns, and how to connect with other people, so that you can connect your sphere with other agents and get the referrals, right? The referral fees paid to you. So that's two other ideas that you could try out.
I love it. Like I said, there's an open forum. Anybody else got something?
I appreciate it, Amy.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on then. The dog has something. The dog has something to say too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, all right. Good job. Okay. All right, let's move on. All right, I am sharing the screen again. So here we go. Next one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We all know this to be true. Customers are more apt to share a negative customer experience than share a positive customer experience. Ooh. We all know that, don't we? We've all seen the negative things on social media. As soon as one negative thing happens, I mean, they just jump on like crazy, right? We've all seen that, right? Right? All right. So how do we prevent this from happening? All right. Well, let me give you a couple of numbers that kind of prove this. Well, first of all, let me say two things like this. All right. If you want to prevent this from happening, the first thing you got to do is you have to be willing to tell people the truth, even when it's something they might not want to hear or know, because they got to be able to trust you. And the second thing is you got to do what you say you're going to do. All right. So those are the two things that really help combat this one. Now, here are the reasons why this is so important. Here's some statistics. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen real quick. All right. Can you guys see me? All right. Statistics. 25% of customers will switch providers after just one negative experience. One. Okay. Check out this fact. A single customer could share a negative experience 357,000 times in social media. 357,000 times by them posting and getting shared. It can go over 357,000 times in social media. 19% will not trust a company after one bad experience. And 59% of customers say they don't have a relationship with their provider, which means if they don't have a relationship with them, they are primed to move to new providers. So that's what, and that's another reason why if you build a relationship, you get a little bit more leeway with this. And we're going to talk about how you stay in touch with them here in a minute. All right, so let's go back to sharing our screen. So we have the Y4C2Ts. We all know about those. And the first C is customers. Now, this I'm going to kind of go through very quickly. I just want you to kind of see it. National Association of Realtors, they take surveys every year. And this is what they found out. I think this was 2019 numbers, though. Okay. That what do buyers and sellers want? Those are what they need to have in order for their real estate transactions. And then if you look on the other side, it says what they look for in an agent. And notice, honesty, trustworthy, reputation, all that's two of the top three. Notice, agent experience on the buyer side is 2. So if they feel you're honest and trustworthy, that can trump experience. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Here are some things you can do to stay top of mind and stay relevant. We talked about knowing your market and your demographics. That's once again showing you are a real estate professional, taking the time to know what you're supposed to know about your specific market. All right, that's just about studying. The next one, know preferred communication styles. Does everybody know the 4 basic styles according to the CV process? All right, here they are. They are the assertive, which is the direct style. There's the sociable, the person who likes to talk a lot. There is the structured, that's somebody who likes everything just so, everything right in its place. And then there's the steady, the person that's kind of the calm, steady demeanor. All right, and most people have one of those as their primary style. And when we talk about talking to people, if you mirror and match people, because people generally like people who are like them. By understanding that a little bit, you'll generally have better reception when you talk to people about whatever you're talking to them about. So if there's somebody who's direct, and you can tell that by the conversation, when you're talking to them doing your presentation, you need to be more direct. If you talk too much, they're not really going to like you and they're not going to want to do business with you. If it's somebody who's super social and like to talk a lot, well, you need to talk a lot and you need to listen a lot. If it's somebody who's very structured, they want everything just so, that's one of the reasons why we talked earlier about when you get to someone's door and, you tell them you had an appointment at 3 o'clock and you say, we had an appointment at 3 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock, because that's somebody who wants somebody who's going to be a stickler for the details. So you're showing them by that you're a stickler for the details by being on time and letting them know you're on time. And once again, that steady person, being much more calm as opposed to being all, crazy and zany, which for different people, that's one of the great things about being a realtor. You get to be a little bit of an actor, because some days you'll act a little bit more this and that and other thing. Now, it's nothing fake, because we all have these parts of us in our personalities. It's just when somebody else has one of those, in order to make them more comfortable, you want to show them the side of you that looks more like them. And then it's about knowing your value proposition. The value proposition is this: having a very easy way to explain something, what type of services you provide, what you do, what's your focus, in a way that is in a short, very short way to explain it. So you shouldn't be a paragraph, maybe be a couple of sentences. Might only be one sentence. Okay, here's an example of a value proposition. In our team, our goal is to be informative and helpful. We hope to earn your business with our exemplary level of service and extensive local knowledge of our area. Okay, basically 2 sentences. It can even be shorter than that. It can be really quick. We sell more because we do more. Right to the point. Prompt and professional service is our guarantee. So you should have something that when somebody asks you about your business, that should be like your calling card. It should be on all your paperwork. It should be on your business cards. If you have shirts, it should be on your shirts. It should be something that you kind of say when you're talking to people. It should be something that stands out. It should be quick, something that stands, and they're going to remember it. And then we have this one. We've all heard this before, right? Actually, you know what? Why doesn't everybody take off mute and I'll read this together? On the count of 3, are we ready? Everybody come off mute. Amy, I'm waiting for you. Amy, I'm waiting for you. There we go. All right. Okay, ready.
I'm
all
here.
Right. Ready? On the count of 3. Everybody say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
People don't
care how much you know
until they
know how much you care.
Until they know how much you care.
Yeah, we've all heard that before, right? We already know that's the truth. All right, we already know that. It's always good, a little bit of fun to say it all together. However, we've got to remember that. It's important for us to show them that we care about them. That's why a lot of people looked at the pandemic and said, oh my gosh, the world's going to blow up. And probably some of you are having your best years ever because of it. It's because what it did for us was it made us all step back and do this. It did. It made us all step back and do this.
I was like, damn it.
What? Oh, all right. They closed. All right. So it made him do this. So that's why that was so important. And as we keep doing this and we keep building those relationships and we keep locking those relationships in, it's like building, what Gary says, it's like building a moat around your database. Because if people know that you care about them, they're going to want to stay with you, because they know that when they're doing these large financial transactions, they know that Amy's got their back. They know that Jamie's got their back. They know that Josh has their back. They know that Seamus has their back. William's got their back. They know you guys all have their back. And they're going to want to make sure that they have somebody who's got their back. All right. Now, here's the key. The customer's point of view is what? The only one that counts. We've heard that saying, the customer is always right. You know, here it is basically. Now, there's one thing I'm going to hit really fast because I know we only got a couple minutes, except I want to make absolutely sure that you guys get this. You got to ask for feedback. And the most important thing about feedback, let me stop sharing real quick because we're almost done. You got to ask for feedback. Can you all see me? All right, got to ask for feedback. So here's the thing that's important about feedback. You want to make sure that your customers know this should be something that you set as an expectation. All right. You're going to check in with them from time to time and find out how you're doing. You're going to tell them from time to time, I'm going to check in and find out how I'm doing. The best thing you can also do with this is let them know that at any point in this transaction, if they ever feel uncomfortable or have a question or have an issue, they need to stop you right there and let you know. You still have to have some times in your system when you're going to be asking them for feedback. Because even though you tell people that, some people will do it, some people won't do it. The most important part is there might be something really small that you did and they didn't interpret it correctly. And now they're thinking you didn't do something you promised them when you did. It just didn't look like what they thought it was going to look like. And the only way you can find that out and fix it while it's still tiny is if you're constantly asking them how you're doing. If you're giving them a survey from time to time and saying, well, how did this go for you? How does this working for you? Because it's really easy to fix a problem when it's tiny than to wait until you've closed on it. And then you're wondering why they're ghosting you all the time. You say, man, that was a great transaction. And it was for you, however, it wasn't for them. So make sure that you ask for feedback. All right, so what'd you guys get from this? Real quick. A couple of ahas.
The customer experience gets you referrals and customer service just gets you a transaction.
I know, that was a good thing that they said.
That's great. And I want to go to Disney. So thanks.
What about Disney, Jamie?
Now I want to plan a trip to Disney.
Now you're gonna play. I'm telling you'll go there. Let me tell you. Okay, I gotta digress here for a second. All right, I just got married like June 20th. Okay, last year, my fiance at the time, she said she'd never been to Disney, and she didn't understand. And I said, oh, we got to go. So we went as adults. Me and her went, and she, the picture on our announcement for our marriage is a picture from Disney. She's like, oh, I love it. And before she was like, like I said, when you get there, the way it's just like, wow, this is kind of different. So Jamie, yep, adults, kids alike, you'll go there and you'll be like, wow. So love it. All right. Any other ahas? Great aha, Jamie. Any more ahas?
I have to say I really like the difference between a contact and a contract is that letter R. Relationship, repeat business, referral. Did I get that all right? Relationship,
Yep.
repeat, referral. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Yep. All right. One more aha, and it's 5:01. So I thought you'll go one more aha. One more, real quick. What else did you get? One more. We're looking for one more.
Adriana put one in the chat.
Oh, okay, let's look. All right. Create loyalty connection with clients and referrals all the time. Love it. Yes, very good. Great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was my pleasure and privilege to be with you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you got some really great stuff, and go make those customers have the best experience ever so you can continually get those repeat and referral business. All right, you guys have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis.
That was
Bye.
awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.